Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Conversate with Pamela. And we're going to have some girl talk. I think it's so important that we just get in here. We do some girl talk. We need this, especially what's going on in the world. We need all the support we can get to help us to get to our what's next. We always are conquering our what's ifs and what ifs, and I can't. So what perfect place to do it is doing some girl chat. So you guys see, I got more powerhouse women in the house. Woohoo! So I can't wait for you guys to hear their story. I can't wait for you guys to hear who they are and what they do. They're amazing. You grab your pen and paper and you see who we have here. It's Win Wednesday, everybody. And you know what we always do? Drop it in the feed below and tell me your win. Now, my phone, look, I had to move it because it's been ringing off the hook I was telling Susie, my phone is always ringing off the hook. But today, someone was like, well, what's a win? A win is a goal that you have set. Now, I believe in goals should be done in small pieces. So that's why we always talk about the weekly goal. So I want to know, what is your weekly goal? And how are you doing with it? Did you accomplish it? Or are you still working on it? Or better yet, you're just trying to figure it all out. And you're somewhere in between there. But we still would love to hear. We're all about praising you and celebrating you on your win. So I want to hear your wins. Drop it in the feed. We will definitely shout you out. I also want you all to see. You see, we have here. Yes, we have a sponsor tonight, and one of our sponsors tonight is Vision Made Magazine, the magazine that is printed quarterly, and it's all about empowering, inspiring women or individuals around the world to go after their what's next. And we do that with the vision board. Now, I love a vision board. You can't see it. I have 5 of them in my office here, but I believe in the vision board. And so the Vision Made magazine is based on the vision board. So we have inspirational stories, as you hear here, but I've taken and put them on the pages, as well as we have power words. We also now have a place in there called Healthy Living, Healthy Eating, which Miss Susie will be doing an article. I'm so excited for this coming issue, as well as I believe as we do in the Healthy Living, healthy building on, then we also have where there are women coming in that are visionaries that are sitting in the boardroom making over $1 million. And we want to share their story because there's so many of us out here like, how do they do it? What are they doing to even get to be millionaires? What's their mindset? And so much more is in the magazine. If you're interested in gaining a copy of Vision Made magazine, drop it in the feed below. I definitely will connect you on how to get a copy of Vision Made magazine. So without further ado, you guys see who I have. I have Miss Susie Turner, who is my workout coach. Y'all, she works me out to death. And then Miss Shelford, I'm not kidding, I promise you. And then we have Chef Adana, which they're both, I feel it's so important. Again, healthy living, healthy life, and what perfect way. So if you guys have any questions for these amazing ladies, drop them in the feed. We will address them here. If we don't get to them tonight, trust me, I will make sure they get them before the end of tonight's show and make sure that it's given to them so then they can get back to you. So please drop them in the feed. We're here to empower you. So first and foremost, ladies, thank you for joining me on here on Conversate with Pamela.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. I'm excited. Yes.
Oh, me too. I'm so excited. So let me start off with Miss Chef Adana. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where are you located at?
Sure. So I am in Ohio, but my work is actually virtual. So I've helped people as far away as, I think my furthest person was Dubai. So that's one of the things I like about my work as a personal chef and now as a culinary coach, where we just work through pretty much all of your barriers when it comes to home cooking, right? Like everyone doesn't have the same exact goal, whatever your goal is and whatever your barriers are, whether that's you can't figure out how to do a grocery budget to save your life, right? Like we start there and work all the way up. So there's a lot of work that happens before we get in the kitchen. And that's a lot of the stuff that I do virtually.
I love it. Love it. I can't wait till we deep dive in more. And then Miss Susie.
Yes. Well, I am also in Ohio, Columbus, and I'm also a personal trainer, virtually and in live and in person which is where I train Pam live and in person.
Yeah.
But I do have some clients who are virtual as far away as Arizona. I have a customer who's also, or not a customer, a client who's in Michigan and just various parts of the US, not international yet, but working to get there. I have been in business since 2016, but more so 2016 was more about some events that I also sponsor, which is When Natural Hair Meets Fitness. So that's one of my events that we have not been able to do because of COVID, but hopefully within the next, like 2022, I'll be able to bring that show back, which is amazing. And then I also have another show that I do, which is called the We Fit Together Gala. And that's bringing all the fitness people together to celebrate them. When it's just a night of evening of fun where we get dressed up outside of our workout clothes. We get dressed up and we just come together and just have a ball. And with vegan foods, so chef, I'm glad to meet you because our next gala, I'm definitely could be able to, we could work together and make this thing even more sensational than it was the first time we did it. So that's what I do. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really good. It was awesome. Looking forward to bringing those two back, hopefully in 2022, if not 2023. So we have to see how things go with COVID and the Delta variant and all this good stuff. So, well, not good stuff, but.
I know, right? It just really has thrown us all for the loop. Let's be honest.
Yes.
So we're all trying to figure it out and figure our lives out and how this COVID is going to fit into our lives because it's here. We just have to now how to adapt to it. So, ladies, let's get into it. As you both are into doing your amazing work professions, which I admire you both. How did you guys get into it? What led you to this path?
Miss Susie, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, fitness has always been a part of my life, but not to the extent where I am now. Back in 2011, someone that I used to work out in the big box gyms, things like that, but not, and always wanted to be able to, I always said Angela Bassett arms. I wanted Angela Bassett arms. That was my goal. And so I had a personal trainer at the big box gym. But I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And then there was a girl who I worked with, her body was amazing. And I'm like, Jamie, what are you doing? What are you doing? So she invited me to go work out with her. And lo and behold, Pam, it was Dr. Trey.
Oh my goodness.
So it was Dr. Trey, his facility. And so Dr. Trey, I started working out with him again. This is going on 10 years now. So it was 10 years ago. December 2011 is when I met him. And so that's when my fitness journey actually took off and went to another level. And I just became addicted. And again, I worked out before, but not to the level that I am now. And then in 2016, Dr. Trey asked me to do a class. He goes, just form a class. It's 8 weeks for women only. And I said, okay. I was nervous because, I'm not one who likes to stand up in front of people. Well, I take that back. I used to be that person where I didn't want to stand up in front of people. That's totally different now. I've changed now into the person that I'm supposed to be, standing up in front of people, teaching and talking. And so that happened in 2016. And I led a group for 8 weeks of women. They came every Friday. We called it Susie Happy Hour. And so it was coined that, and it just kind of, and it still kind of sticks to this day where people will see me out and they'll go, aren't you Susie's Happy Hour? And I'm going, yes, that's me. That's me. And so it was amazing. And then after 2016, after that happened, and then probably 2017 is when I became a full-fledged instructor with at Dr. Trey's facility. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
certified.
You guys don't have to see her arms, I promise you.
Yeah.
She has them.
Angela Bassett. That's what I want. That was my goal. Yes.
She has them. Real quick, ladies. Tekka Thompson says, hello, ladies. And then she also said, hey, Miss Susie.
Hey, Tekka.
Just wanted to let y'all know. So, Chef Adana, tell us a little bit. How did you get here to becoming a chef?
Yes, exactly.
Sure. So, my journey was not as direct as probably most. So I just started off, as a kid, just always had a love and I would say an appreciation, I feel like more than most kids for cooking. right? When they would just like run in the kitchen, like grab something, like whatever mom cooked or whatever was hanging out, they would just grab it and run back outside. Whereas my whole thing was like, well, what are we pairing it with? And like, who made it? It just had all these different questions, like what are the different flavors that are in it and how did you cook this? So I really credit a lot of that to my mom, though, just kind of giving me that freedom and that creativity in the kitchen, you know, and I would start off, you know, even just making my lunches and bringing them to school, and kids would be like, well, what's that? What'd your mom make? I'm like, no, I made it. They're like, what? Your mom let you play in her kitchen? Our mom would never let us play in the kitchen and like mess up her groceries and mess up the kitchen. So I think that just kind of blossomed into me trying to figure out how my life looked with cooking and how I could incorporate it. I went to culinary school, I feel like, with absolutely no idea of what I wanted to do with it. I just knew I didn't want to work in a restaurant after just kind of hearing, I don't want to say the horror stories, but just the stories of like the hierarchy and the brigade in the kitchen, like the commercial kitchen. I just knew it wasn't for me. And then also hearing people talk about, well, you know, you've been to culinary school, you're going to have to start off sweeping floors and washing dishes. And I'm like, no, that's not why I didn't do that.
That's right. That's right.
Like I need to figure out a way to kind of bypass all of that. And I did. And just honestly, through one day, just reading an article in a women's magazine, maybe, oh my gosh, this was probably about 15, maybe 18 years ago. There was an article about personal chefs. And I was like, well, that's pretty interesting. But I live in Ohio. Like I can't be a personal chef. That sounds like a Hollywood or like a New York or a California thing. But when you really look at it, I mean, personal chefs literally just help people figure out their way around food, right? So you're busy, or, you know, Susie, you're busy even training your clients. You don't have time to be in the kitchen, right? You would rather have someone come in, do the grocery shopping, do the prep, everything for you, to where when you come in from training your clients, you just open up the fridge and you just know you got a fridge full of food and you don't have to worry about anything all the way down to the cleanup. So I kind of started with that and started working with people that had special diets, like anybody that was like vegan, gluten-free, vegetarian, kids a picky eater, dad maybe like has some health issues and he's trying to navigate, you know, his way through the kitchen, but the parents and the mom are still eating a different way. So I did that for some time and then transitioned into doing more dinner parties, just, you know, for people's special events, special occasions, birthdays, surprise proposal dinners. Those were always really fun. Surprise birthday dinners where people had no idea what to expect. Like they would just walk in and they're like, who is this lady? And why does she have like 3 or 4 people in my kitchen? Right. And then like the wife pops out and she's like, surprise. So I found all that to be really, really fun and entertaining and really high energy. But kind of what led me to the path as a culinary coach is I started having some pain in my hand while I was working with clients. Couldn't figure out what it was. Started dropping knives and forks and glasses. And I'm like, oh, they're going to kick me out faster than I can say bon appetit. I got to figure out what this is. So it took about 2 or 3 years, honestly, to get to kind of the root of it. It ended up being carpal tunnel. For some reason, doctors could not diagnose it. But through that process of me just trying to figure it out, because the doctors couldn't do it, just, you know, kind of going through occupational therapy, physical therapy myself, trying to get my hands strong enough. I met a therapist that really helped me connect what I had been doing for these people for 13 years, like help me figure out, okay, if it worked for them, it could work for you too. So what are you eating and how can you look at what you can do to improve your symptoms? Because, you know, with the dropping things, it was very, very painful. So that kind of led me down that path, because she was also noticing that, you know, some clients that she was working with, no matter what she did, they just were not getting better. And she's like, okay, now we need to start looking at your diet. But diet, I mean, it's just one of those things that I feel like unless you are kind of in the health and wellness industry, that's not one of the things that you're looking at as what could be, you know,
triggering.
Even causing symptoms
there you
of,
go.
You know, what your major issues or what your triggers could be. So that's kind of what led me kind of through that long, windy road to this field.
Well, it's amazing. Look what you're doing. You're doing amazing work. Real quick, we have Cecilia who says, "Hey, Susie Turner," and then she comes back and say, "Hey, ladies."
Hey,
Thank you,
Cecilia.
Cecilia, for
Hi.
joining us. So, ladies,
Okay, so
actually,
can I ask Coach a minute,
sure,
make a comment to Coach, I mean, to the chef real quick, Chef Adana.
sure. Mhm.
Okay, so as a kid, you had a palate where you could just taste the seasonings as a, I mean, that just amazes me to be so young and your palate was that alert to
And what's funny
tasting
is
the
that
seasonings.
I thought that it was just typical. Like, at that age, I thought it was everybody until I started seeing, kids, well, my friends, basically my peers, like, you are too serious about this. I'm like, no, I'm not serious. I think I just know good food and I, I want good food. So huge difference
Yeah,
between kind
That
of,
is
yeah.
that is great
I
because
love your story. I
that
love your
is
story.
yeah.
Yes,
I love both of your stories, the journeys that you guys have gone, the journey that you have gone through and what you have gone through to get you to where you are now is just it's so empowering, inspiring, and letting women around the world know that we all face so many obstacles. I mean, you
Mhm.
just Chef just talked about her obstacles and Susie talked about her obstacles, but we don't let the obstacles stop us from going after our what's next,
exactly.
whatever
That's
it
right.
may be. So there's some women that are sitting out in the corporate world right now, and they're like, "Well, I want to work on my what's next, but I don't know what to do or where to start." What would be your piece of advice to them, Susie?
Okay, so if their what's next is to get fit,
Leave, yeah,
okay,
or whatever it is, whatever it could
okay,
be.
all right. I would just say, especially in the fitness world, um, my thing is, I may go off a little bit before I answer the question,
No
but
worries.
it always comes to mind when people talk about being fit that it's more than just physical fitness. If
Mm,
you are, you could be physically fit, but then there's something going on with our mind, right? Our
yeah,
mind is not well, or our spirit man is not well. If those two things, or financially you're not well, if those things are out of order, you're not fit. To me, you're not fit. There's still some broken pieces there that we need to figure out. Where do we start? Especially if it's finances, where do I start? Do I get a financial coach? Do I get a financial advisor? I mean, what do I do? Do I put myself on a budget? What do I do in order to get my finances here? Stop spending as much. That could be the thing right there. Stop spending as much. Stop using that credit card. Stop doing things like that. If it's something mentally, you may need to go out, find yourself a therapist. You may find yourself, most jobs now, I know my job where I work, because I do a 9 to 5 as well, chef. I do a 9 to 5 plus, doing my fitness business. And we have what they call the EAP,
mhm.
where it's free counseling available. There's lots of things available for free using that EAP through your job. So it could be something like that. Talk to somebody on your job and they could tell you, especially HR, somebody in HR, which is what I do, they would be able to tell you what all your benefits are to help you with if there's something mentally going on there. And so again, if it's something spiritual, you might need a spiritual advisor. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
somebody at your church. I don't know if it's somebody that who you can, because not everybody is allowed into your circle, right?
Right.
There's some people who might be spiritually stronger than others, and then you just have to be wise and be aware of who you're talking to and who you are allowing into your circle. And so I just think those things, it's just we have to look at all the components of the whole person, and the whole person, in order to be physically fit, mentally fit, spiritually fit. That will help you be a whole person. And I just say you just have to start looking internally, not so much on the outside, but start looking internally to get to get those goals lined up to where you want, to where it's setting you and soaring you to where you want to be, and to be the person that you want to be.
I agree
That's
with
my
you.
advice.
I think that's great. And Cecilia says, "You're spot on, Susie. Great advice." What about you, Doctor? What about Doctor? What about you, Chef?
Doctor.
Well, just to kind of piggyback too off of what Susie was saying, just like aligning with the professionals that can help you. I believe in outsourcing until you cannot outsource anymore, right? Because there are
There you
some
go.
things that we are extremely strong in, and I believe like that's the path that we need to pursue and work on, even getting better in it, even though we may feel like we're strong in that area. But the things that you just are like you said, where do I start? I'd say
Mhm.
start with outsourcing. Like partner up with the professionals that you feel like that you need that can help you. And that just kind of goes back to what I did as a personal chef, right? Like they outsource their kitchen problems. They're like, I don't want to deal with it, don't want to think about it, not going to the grocery store, not opening up a cookbook, not getting out measuring spoons. No, come in and help, right? So the same thing with culinary coaching, that some people can't figure out. Like I said, even as far as you'd be amazed with, just something as what we would think is simple as creating a grocery budget. I talk to some people and they're like, what's that? I just go to the store and buy what I want. I'm like, well, that's nice. But in you doing that, number one, you're not aligning yourself with your goals, right? Because you're just picking and grabbing stuff. And not even, like I said, not even saying everyone has the same goal as far as like, weight loss, or someone may have heart problems, whatever their thing is they're working on. You're just going in the store grabbing stuff and you don't have a clue on how to put it together. Well, go back to your grocery budget, right? That's kind of the start of it. Figure out what it is that you're trying to do to help you accomplish your goals, and just line them up and get those professionals. I think that's my biggest advice for the what's next piece.
I love it. I love the outsourcing piece of it. I like how you talk about outsourcing it to help, because so many, especially us, let's just talk about us women, we're always trying to take on everything, as what I always talk about, the Shira power. I can take it all on and I don't need anybody help. But then you realize if you crash and burn, then you realize you do need the help. So I love that you talk about outsourcing and knowing that we need, and Susie, you even talked about knowing that there's help and being okay with it. So many people are shunning down on mental health or mental health or mental health. And there's nothing wrong with it. I need everyone to understand that it's okay to go outsource and go get that help that we need in order to you can get to that what's next. So I so commend you, both of you ladies, touching on that. And it's so needed for everyone to understand that we do face it, and we do have that mental health piece. So really quick, ladies, as you're talking about outsourcing, did you guys face any obstacles as you were going through your journey? And if so, can you share one obstacle you faced and how did you get through it?
Oh my gosh, I have so many, Susie. I'm gonna let you
go ahead.
first.
No, you go first.
Oh my gosh. I think the biggest thing is, you asked for one, I gotta give you like two.
Okay, go ahead, give me two.
So the biggest thing was being in denial that my body was going through those changes. Like that was an obstacle where like I still kept trying to do my old work that I knew I couldn't do anymore without getting the help that I needed. That was that you talk about mental health. That was a huge stumbling block, because I'm like, I've been a person, like I've done this my entire life. So if I can't grab a knife, or what am I going to do? So after I sat with that and said, okay, like this is what it is for now. You're going to, you'll figure it out. You'll get through it. The next thing was, I felt like trying to label, like just put a label on like that next stage of my career and what that looked like, because this is still a very, 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 very new field. Someone actually had to find the program for me, like to get the training, because I didn't know what it was called at the time. So I think too, we spend a lot of time like trying to label it or package it before we go after it, or put like a perfect, pretty bow around it. And all the time you may not be able to do that. So I think that those were two big obstacles for me, just kind of coming to grips with the fact that like your personal chef days or your cooking days as you know them are over. But then what do you call the next thing?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Especially those of us that's always big into wanting to know, what do I call it, and giving that title, and you don't know what to give it, then you're like, oh my goodness. And then everything just starts building up, and the anxiety and everything else. So you're so right with that. What about you, Susie?
Okay, so mine would be being labeled as a child, because I was quiet, and I'm still kind of quiet, but I'm not as quiet as I used to be. So quiet was one of the things that I was labeled. Shy was one of the things that I was labeled. And then introverted, as I got older, introverted was one of the things that was labeled on me. And I'm still kind of, I am, which is not, being introverted is not a curse. That's something that you can take and just kind of like, spread your wings and just soar as high as you want to, with all the labels that people have, placed on yourself. But that's when that's when I started to go deeper into my, and I'm still going deeper into myself, finding out who I really am, because I took on those labels and I lived those labels, and now I'm spreading my wings and I'm picking off those things that people labeled me as, and it's like, no, that's not me. That is not who I am. So those obstacles, and again, where you stand up in front, where I'm standing up in front of people and I'm talking and I'm leading classes, and there's people who see me in action. They go, girl, please, shy where's your
Right, right.
where's your shy bone at, and I said, because I was labeled that, but that's not who I was. I took it on because that's what people called me. Quiet. I took it on because that's what I was called. So those obstacles, I'm still unveiling the true Susie, real true Susie is coming out, and I'm looking at her going, girl, go ahead with your bad self,
That's
girl.
right.
You are, yeah.
You're
So
an
those
amazing
obstacles,
woman.
I'm laying those out. They're laying out to the side. I no longer accept, labels that people try to place on me. Those labels that were placed on me as a child.
Mhm.
No, they can't come back anymore. Whenever they try to creep up, I'm like, that's not who I am. That's not
Yeah.
me. So those kind of obstacles I had to overcome in the field that I am in now. Yeah.
I agree. One of the labels that I had faced was dealing with what everybody's expectations, but my own expectation, and then getting
Mm,
consumed up in their expectations. I
yes.
tell the story of I was so consumed with everyone's expectations that I started feeling like I didn't know what I wanted. And I always tell everybody, and I want everyone to understand, when you feel that you get to that point, but then you're ready to kick down the doors or start blossoming, don't let age stop you. For a long time,
Hello.
I did think about, I was over 40. I mean, I really was over 40 when I got that poke in my life. And I was like, oh, it's nothing. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna ignore it. And then two of my mentors, well, both of them my girlfriend, but at two different times, they're both are like, you're not even living in your purpose. And they knew it
Mm,
before I
mm,
did. And it was so deep into where one of my girlfriends, actually, she was my boss, and she's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to let you go because I worked for her, but she said, I'm going to set you up. And what I'm going to do is I want you to see the life that I'm living, what you want to do. And I'm going to travel. And so she used to have me travel with her to see how it was. Cause I thought it was the most coolest thing ever to see people traveling and going to do their passion. Well, I got to do that. And I was blessed
yeah.
enough for someone seeing that potential and allow me to
Yes.
experience it. And ever since then, I've had to kick down the barrier of I'm not living anyone's else life. I now can go in and say I'm living for me. And like you said, Susie, picking each thorn
Yes.
off
Just
and throwing away and
throw it
knowing that,
away.
now don't get me twisted. Sometimes it does creep back on me, and I
Mm-hmm.
go back in my introvert self thinking, okay, then I'm like, hold
Mm-hmm.
it, I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
out in this world like this. I'm going to go and I'm going to go kicking and fighting to the end. So when God says, okay, you're right, you did it all before you got to that point. So I'm glad
Right.
we could talk about that. And so and I tell that story because a lot of women, one, are talking about, well, I'm too old, or they
Yes.
heard two, they're too old to go after, and they should have done it a long time ago. Please, please, please do not listen to that. And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
believe me, Vera Wang was over 50 before she got
Hello.
to the scene.
I mean,
This
I was 54 when I came to join with Dr. Trey. And Dr.
exact,
Trey is the one who saw something in me. So he saw something in me. He's the one who pushed me into
yeah,
leading classes. He saw it. And I was like, what? And and then so at that time I was 55 when I did that, 55 when I started leading classes. So no, you're never too old unless you
that's
want to
right,
be too old.
right.
You put that limit on yourself. You put that ceiling, that lid over yourself to stop you from climbing and going higher. That's on you. That's
Yeah.
on you.
I
Mm-mm.
so agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it'll stop the limitations, and once you put it out in the atmosphere,
Atmosphere. There you
atmosphere
go.
believes it, and then it comes and you stay stagnant, and then you start to thinking about the woulda coulda it just goes into a big whole snowball effect, which
Yes.
we could always talk about in another show. But we're all here about to empower and inspire women to go in after their what's next, whatever it is. Again, we always face the what ifs. What if I didn't do, what if I had time, or I can't do it because I don't have time. But yet you're hearing these amazing women's stories, and they're doing it, and they're showing you how to do it. It's going to take time. It's not overnight. You heard
No.
Chef saying it took her a minute, but it took us all a minute. It's not an overnight process. So ladies, please do not don't take it lightly. It's going to take you some time, but sit down, and as you see above me, think big. Think so big that you are outthinking yourself,
Yes.
and don't limit
Yes.
yourself. So ladies, before we take this, we're at a halfway point. I can't believe it. Our show it's been so amazing. Now we're going to do a little something fun. But ladies, if somebody wanted to get in contact with both of you, how do they find you, or where can they find you at? Chef,
Okay. Chef,
The
go ahead.
easiest way for me is chefadonna.com. If you go there, it kind of branches out to all the different things that I do with culinary coaching at Align Health, which is a wellness clinic in Upper Arlington. So you can go there and get information about that. And then if you're looking just for more of some cooking classes, team building type things, you can go there and get some information about that too.
perfect.
Awesome.
Miss Susie, what about
Okay. For
you?
me, Facebook and Instagram, I'm at Susie Turner Fitness. My website is susieturnerfitness.com. And so you can always contact me there. And I promise you, if you DM me, I promise I'm the one who gets back with you.
She
And I
does.
will get back with you.
She does.
Yes.
I'm a truly witness to that. So true. We'll sit back for a moment, ladies. I just want to do this station break real quick. You guys,
Okay.
everybody, I want to first and foremost welcome everybody. We're having some amazing interaction, which that's what I love, because this isn't just for me, it's for all of us. It's for all of us to help each other get ourselves to our what's next. And it takes time. And you see that we've all faced the challenges, but now you see that you're not the one who's not the only one who's seeing the facing the challenges. We do too. And hopefully these stories, as these amazing powerhouse women has given you, now you have the inspiration to go after your what's next. Now, if you're needing help on getting to your what's next, drop it in the feed below and say help, and I definitely will help you. If you don't need my help, I have two amazing co-hosts that always do. I do not take on that I can take everybody on. I'm not perfect. I have women co-hosts that can do it for us, and they're here. So if I can help you, I have these two ladies. If you have any questions for these two ladies, please drop it in the feed. They will definitely back to your question. And then you guys, it's Win Wednesday. What is your win for this week? I would love to hear it. Drop it in the feed and tell us. I'm trying to pay attention to my phone on the three different platforms that it's on. So if I don't see it right now, I'll apologize, but I definitely will get back to you. And then the second half of the show is sponsored by Vision Made Magazine, the magazine that is printed on a quarterly basis, and it's about empowering, inspiring stories as well as power words. Who doesn't love some power words to get you through the day? As well as there's inspirational stories, as well as there's even some things for you to do. So I always believe in the way you can get to your what's next is doing some homework. So if you're interested in getting a copy of Vision Made Magazine, drop it in the feed. I will definitely be in contact with you. So Susie, let's first and foremost go to, as you're into fitness, and I'm getting someone's here is asking me, well, what is one piece of easy exercise that they can do at their desk right now?
Oh, I mean, just squat. I mean, right now you could stand up and you can just squat. Just stand up and just squat. Raise those arms up, and just stand up and just squat up, squat. Squeeze it when you come up, squeeze those glutes. I'm telling you, ladies, we need to keep our hiney tight and lifted. And so squatting and squeezing those glutes, that's going to help you. That's going to keep that backside lifted and tight.
All right.
Okay. So it's going to be sore and painful, but it's all worth the pain and the sore.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. The burn of that sore is worth it.
She said the pain, and she's not kidding. So I promise you, she means the pain. I'm going to say this. Miss Susie is so inspirational, and that's why I had her on, because every time I'm in the gym, I remember the first time I was in the gym, I'm like, okay, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm never, ever going to be able to do it. And she's like, you can do it. You can do it. I'm thinking in my mind, what's she know? She don't know I can't do this. She don't know. But then after a while, we got through it. But knowing that she is here to inspire you, empower you, to get you to a better health. That's why I told you guys that story. I mean, if you only knew what some of the things that might go in my head, or when she's like, "Come on, Pam," I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
tonight, Pam, we're gonna do this tonight,
Like,
Pam. She's like,
right,
oh
right. Did you
God,
guys hear?
like,
Do you hear her? She's always trying to coach me through it. I'm like, okay, Miss Susie, okay. So know that you guys, but anyways, but you guys start somewhere. If you know, if you're on a journey like me to a healthy journey, a healthy life, and a healthy life, it's the way to go into doing some fitness. You need to hook up seriously with Miss Susie. We do have fun. Don't get me wrong. We do have fun during the
yes,
time we
and great music.
and great
Yes.
music. When we're always dancing and giggling and laughing, but it's funny because everyone's like, "Well, it's hard," but it is hard. But you can never give up. And I always tell
Hmm.
everybody, never ever give up, no matter
Hmm.
the obstacle. And she may let you stop for a moment, but she's back there like, "Come on, you can do it." You have
Hmm.
that cheerleader there. So note that. Cecilia says, Susie is truly a mentor. Pam, you've done phenomenal. Super proud of you. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you so
Oh.
much. That's great. Okay, Chef. They're asking, look, I have my phone is dinging. That's why you keep seeing me moving it because I'm trying to be distractive. But someone says, can you give them a quick tip on something to cook healthy?
Oh my gosh. No. No. Um, gosh, the biggest thing I could say is just to get cooking though. Like a lot of us, I think that may be one thing that we've outsourced too much, especially with COVID, is like the going out to eat and the whatever. Like my whole specialty is just getting people back in the kitchen. And I can assure you what you will cook at home. I mean, unless you're just like out on a mission to make the craziest, most fattening food, you cooking at home is going to be 10 times better than what you could get, anywhere else, right? Because you're able to control the ingredients and you start cooking with kind of fresh ingredients or like workhorse ingredients and just letting them transform themselves and just, just start. Just fresh fruits and vegetables. That's the biggest thing I can tell you.
Yeah.
Just start cooking. Leave the processed stuff alone. Yes, it's great for a treat here and there, but should not be making up, 80 to 90% of our grocery budgets.
I'm so agree with you
That's
there.
good.
That's a
Yes.
good piece of advice. So, ladies, I talked about power words. So, do either of you have a power word for 2021? And if so, would you like to share it?
Mm. A power word. I have
Yeah.
a phrase that I keep using, which is "this too shall pass." That's what something that I definitely live by. No matter what goes on, no matter what happens, this too shall pass, and
Love it.
yeah, that's mine.
Love it. What about you, Chef? Do you have a power word or a phrase?
Yeah, mine for sure is just going to continue to be just that word align. And I think it just like that is, of course, the name of our wellness clinic, but it just encompasses so much, right? Like you aligning yourself with your goals, you aligning yourself with the professionals and the tools to get you there, and aligning yourself with just that mental state that you may not be able to do it by yourself. And that's okay, right? We shouldn't be
Right.
expected to have to do so much by ourselves. And like you said, as women, we are taking on so much and taking on everybody else's stuff. It is
Hmm.
okay to be able to offload some of that stuff just by aligning with the professionals. I go to the gym too, and I have a personal trainer, and he says, well, do you want to know what we're doing tomorrow? Nope. I'm just showing up. Right. That's for you. I don't need to know that like Tuesday is leg day and Thursday.
Right.
I'm aligning with the professionals so I can outsource that.
There you go.
Love it. So my word for this, I have two. So first is epic. I want to just
Mm.
leave 2020, 2021. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that. 2021 to be an epic year. I want everyone to know no matter what age or where you are in life, you still can do it. And we still have time to do it. So don't let anything stop you. And then the
Absolutely.
last one, and which I feel is it always pertains always to my co-host on here, is phenomenal woman. I love the poetry. I love the writing from Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman.
Yes.
And that's what I always think of you, amazing women. So you guys are doing some amazing job, and know that you are phenomenal. Tennille says, how do you ladies find balance with everything? That's a great question.
That's a great question. It is. You just have to, for me, I know that like Sunday, I work Monday through Friday with my 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday with my fitness business. And it's a lot. And so now it used to be Sunday used to be my go to the grocery store. That used to be my errand running day. Well, now on
Mhm.
Saturday, when I finish with my last client on Saturday, I go to the grocery store now, do all my errands, all that while I'm out. So I can just dedicate Sunday for Susie. That's my day to take care of me, whether it's just wash this hair, uh, what skincare, my skincare routine is just all about me taking care of myself. And even like my housework, I try to do all of that, the cleaning on Saturday, because I want to have Sunday totally for Susie, taking care of myself.
I love
So,
that.
so just that downtime, it's important just to not to keep going, 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 because after a while that engine is going to stop. And I
It
don't
needs
want my
time
engine
out.
to stop just yet. I just want to keep going as long as I can. And it's just so, and it just feels amazing. Sometimes I feel guilty, like, oh my God, I have not what? No, I'm doing nothing, sitting around doing. No, I got over that really quick, real quick. So it's all about just taking care of myself, paying attention to Susie.
Love it. Susie time. Love it, love it. What about
Susie
you,
time.
Chef Adana? How do you balance it all?
Um, I'm gonna keep going back to this because it's a huge part. Outsourcing, right? Like this, the stuff that you can't do, even like you said with the clinics,
Hello.
have someone else do it. You don't have to be rich. Have a niece or nephew, pay them in. I don't know, something, food. Have someone else come do it. That's
Right.
number one. But then number two, I feel like recognizing, like how you were saying, one day used to be the day you would shop. Recognizing that balance for you in different seasons of your life may be different, right? So I think I used to get so caught up on regimented, like Monday is meal prep, Tuesday is this. Finding the pockets of time, right? And knowing that when I can find those pockets of time, I'm taking them. But then also doing things that I can do to set myself up for success for the week. So I'll kind of know where I have those pockets of time at. So for example, no matter what day I'm doing my meal prep, I know that I'm doing that to be able to give myself more time, more space,
Mm,
more freedom, and more balance throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah,
that's
I do.
good.
What I do to find balance to do it to balance it all, I am more of a list and a planner. So literally have two planners. I have a paper planner and electronic planner, but I also create me a to-do list. And I within that to-do list, then I break it down as what's really important, what's to the least important. And what is really important, it only gets like 30 minutes of my time in each day. But I have done what Miss Susie's talked about is designate a day for me, and mine too is Sunday. I go in, I do nothing, and I did feel really good. I was like, wow, I don't have anything to do. It took me a minute to really
Mm-hmm.
wind down to this is all you, and I don't answer my work phone. My clients may email me or they may text me, and I've created boundaries. And let's be honest, that word needs to be understood
Yes.
and be clear that we need boundaries set. So nothing, so when anything or anyone cross that boundary, you have to learn to say no. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really how I've learned how to balance everything is with creating the boundaries with my list. And I'm very obsessive, so I will tell you that. And my lists are different color code. I'm crazy, but it's all color coded. My planner's all color coded, but it just keeps my mind thinking, okay, this is what's going to get done, and this only gets this so much time down to the least important. It will be pushed to one of my free day, which my free day is normally Wednesdays, so I can get ready for the show, and then after the show, so I can wind down. So if the least important may take me 5 minutes, I'll go do it and I'm done. But other than that, that's how I balance everything out. So ladies, what do you do to do some self-care? What do you do for yourself for self-care?
I
Okay.
think for me, the personal training is definitely like it does not feel like self care when I'm in it.
I know, right?
Susie, I love you. I love what you all do. It does not feel like self care while I'm there.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
am screaming at him the entire time. I'm telling him I can't do it. I said the weights are too heavy, but I feel incredible when I leave, right? And I can even
Yes.
tell my endurance is going up.
Hmm.
Every single time I go, I think that's a big self care. My friends laugh at me. My do not disturb is on my, that is a huge self-care for me. So like, well, I called you, I was texting you, I was trying, do not disturb means
Good.
do not disturb.
That's
That's kind of,
good.
yeah, kind of creating that balance and that
That's
self-care too.
good.
That's
I
right.
think those are the biggest things. And then just going back to what you said, boundaries. I think like that is a huge part of it. Even when I'm in the gym, whereas I used to answer the phone and casually talk, no, when I'm there, I don't care if it's husband, mom, you can wait and I can give myself an hour, right? A day. It's fine. So I really think going back to the boundaries helps.
Good.
Yes, that's good.
What about you,
But
sis?
mine would be, like I said, this my hair is that's I've always been a big proponent of healthy hair. All even as a little kid, my mom has stories that she would tell me how I was, how I was as a child with this hair. And so it's like Sunday, that's part of it, self-care. I get up really early on Sunday morning to take care of the wash day. And then it's about me taking care of my skin. That's another thing that I do for self-care. And then I start to wind down and then I start reading. Right now I'm reading my girl,
Wow.
Tabitha
Yeah.
Brown.
I got
Yes,
the
it's my
book.
girl. Yes, I love this. This book is so good. So that's one
Oh,
of the things that I do is read to try to, that's part of my, on the Sunday is the day that I try to, read as many chapters as I'm sitting under the dryer, waiting for this conditioner to get through this, the shafts and whatever else in the pores of my hair and all that stuff. I'm reading. So
I love
yeah,
it. I love it.
yes.
Well, I'm glad you talked about reading. One part of the show that we always talk about, always talk about, is book on the shelf. And the book on the shelf is all about empowering and inspiring ourselves as we're talking, yes, but then also empowering and expanding our minds. And that's where the book on the shelf is. So it's so perfectly come in. I just bought her book, so I'm excited to read it and
Oh,
see.
it's
Is
amazing.
it? Oh,
Yes, it's one of
oh,
those that you have to put it down because there's other things you have to do,
yeah.
but you don't want. I don't want to put it down. It's just so good. Yes,
Oh, I
have your marker, get your highlighter. Yeah, it's good. It
Oh, I
really
can't
is a great
wait.
book.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't wait.
and it's
Yeah.
it's her. It's just I just feel like it's her talking. You know how
Oh,
Tabitha
nice.
talks and her
Yes.
accent. I can hear her accent. I just hear her smile. Everything is just coming through this book. It's awesome. It really is.
I
She did
love
a
I
phenomenal
love
job.
yeah, I love her character. I like when she says Donna's having the moment. Don't listen to
Yes,
her over there. Girl, and then the one time she was talking about, she's like, she didn't like the hair. It didn't go over well for Donna, but
right.
her keep it going. And I just love how she is an amazing author, and I'm
Yes.
glad. So I can't wait to read the book. What about you, Chef Donna? What book are you reading?
One that I have been constantly reading and going back to is In Praise of Slowness. And it talks about just challenging this idea that we have around how much we can cram into a day, how fast we can go. Like it's almost the more you can cram into a day, the more tired you are, the faster you can go. Like that is something to be like honored and respected and great. It may be for some people, but I
Yeah, I'm
no,
with you.
no. So I have to, every now and again, just go back and remind myself that it's okay. Like you say, you do the to-do list and what are I read in another book, like what is the one thing that if I did today, nothing else mattered, right? If I can just get
Right.
that one thing done or those two things
Mm,
done, everything else
hmm.
can just kind of fall down the rest of the way. So I love it because it really does talk about different ways that you can find to even give yourself some time back. So I knew one of the things the very first time I picked it up, and it was just nagging at me, like your hair is taking it's consuming you, right? It's taking
Yes.
too much time. And I just went in the bathroom and I got like I don't even there were like dollar store scissors, and I just start cutting. I just cut it all off because it was literally taking that much time, and it was starting to take away, time from everything else. And, even working out, like, oh, but if I get my hair done, how am I I'm not gonna work out, and
Right.
I need to wait. Okay, so if I get my hair done on this day, then I can work out this day and this day, and then in the salon, it was not a good experience. But in doing that, because I was spending so much time on that, I was having to rush through other things, and other
Mm.
things were not getting my time and attention. So that was a huge kind of wake up call for me.
Wow. Great
Who's the
story.
author? Who's the author of the book?
Carl Honoré is spelled Honore.
Okay.
Mr.
We'll
Awesome.
get it and we'll put it in the feed so everyone can get
Okay.
that. I truly believe in having us grow in our library. So what perfect way is hearing it from the co-host here. So ladies, as we're coming around to, we got literally 5 minutes. This has been so fun. First and foremost, thank you for joining us and for powering all the women around the world with your stories, with your tips and your tricks and everything else. So first and foremost, I want to
Thank
thank you guys.
you.
Yeah,
No, thank
thank
you.
you. Yes.
As we've finished wrapping it up, two things. One, what's your win for this week?
Mm. Oh,
I got a few floating around.
go ahead. Get up. Mine are coming together. Go ahead.
Sure. So one of the things that really resonated with me was both you ladies talking about the shyness and being an introvert and just kind of peeling those layers off. I've been doing so many different events lately, like whether it's virtual or in person. Like right before this, there was a cooking class, virtual cooking class with about 25 people in it. And no matter how prepared I am, I always feel myself clamming up. And I said, this time I'm going to prepare differently. I'm going to focus on, which I always do, but really, really focus on what it is that I want them to get out of it. Turn it more around to, it's not about me. They're not looking at me, right? Like, how can I serve them?
Right.
If they learn, one or two new things with this, then good. And it kind of takes the pressure off me. So I feel like recognizing that and going into my events a little bit different this week, that was a win, because I still, no matter how many I do, I still get, nervous, clammed up. And it is about just constantly remembering what it is that I'm sharing with them and how I can help them.
I love
That's
it.
good. Yeah, that's
Susie,
good.
what about you?
I guess mine would be, it may be a two-parter, but mine
Okay.
is it's always my clients, my fitness client, my clients. They're all everybody means is so near and dear to me. And so a win is always when they come through that door. And I always say you never know what you're going to get when you walk through that door, because every time you come in, it's always something different. And I
Mhm.
just feel like especially, I mean, this week, the workouts this week has all of them have just been amazing. And so to me, that's a win. That's a win for me. When I see my clients who sweating, dripping sweat, fussing at me, rolling their eyes at me, it's like, yes, I won. I
Don't laugh.
win.
Don't
Or rolling their
encourage
eyes
them.
saying,
Don't
and I'm saying
encourage
this is
them.
it's a great workout. And they're like looking like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. And then my second win is going to be, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. My mom turns 100 on Sunday.
Wow.
Yes, my mom turns 100 on Sunday. So that just to be able to be there in her presence, I mean, to me, her being alive and kind of sort of in her right mind. She's not the way she used to be, but she's kind of in and out. But for the most part, she's still here. She's alive. She can still kind of walk on her own. There's certain things she can still do on her own. But just to see my mom turn one, and I told myself I can't miss this. As it was hard. It was a big decision, hard decision for me to tell my clients I'm not going to be here for the rest of the week. I'm going to see my mom. But I had to make that decision. And to me, that's a win-win for me to be there in person when my mother celebrates her 100th
That
birthday.
is huge.
That is
Yes,
amazing. That
yes,
is so amazing.
yes.
So I said my win is for having women, co-host women like you guys, women coming on here, empowering women and not shying away from your stories of the obstacles you face. Because sometimes some women will come on and they won't say their truth. And I feel that they're
Mm-hmm.
hiding behind the truth, but knowing that we're okay, we created a space to be okay with whatever it is, but knowing that we're here to empower each other and take each other to the next level. And I really, really love how you two had talked about doing a collaboration together. That is just
Yes.
made my heart
Yeah, that would be great.
so big. And so that is my win for this week. Well, ladies, as we wrap it up and before we shut it down, what would you like to leave our audience with? Miss Susie?
Well, first, Pam, I want to thank you for this opportunity. This has been amazing, amazing evening. I mean, I just feel so energized. And it's going to be hard for me to go to sleep tonight, even though I got that 7-hour drive ahead of me in the morning. I know I'm going to have to go to sleep, but it's going to be hard for me to go to sleep because I'm just energized from this conversation from you two ladies and then the audience. I'm just so thank you so much, Pam. You are a phenomenal woman. You know that I piggyback on my Angelou. You are phenomenal. Phenomenal is who you are. So don't let anybody tell you anything different. You are phenomenal. And then to Chef Adana, for not knowing you, just meeting you through the screen, you, from what I'm picking up from you, you are an amazing woman. And I can't wait for us to collaborate and just work together. Hopefully my event will be able to be this in 2022, if not 2023. And I'm looking forward to working with you. And I know it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing time. So yeah, the women helping women, women supporting women. We have to do it. We just can't think, I don't want you. I only want you to get so big. So I'm not going to help you. That's not who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be right there, cheering each other, building each other up. So that's what I want the audience to take away. Support each other. If you have something and somebody else can help you do it, reach out to that person. Don't try to take it on all you. Can you imagine me trying to pull an event together and then trying to do the food too? No, I'm not. I can cook. I do okay for myself, but trying to cook for other people, no, that's not it. I got to reach out. And so Chef Adana is so great. Great meeting you. And I'm so glad that Pam put this show together with you and I. And I'm just amazed. And like I said, it's gonna be hard for me to go to sleep tonight. You see me keep going and going and going, not wanting to go off the show, but it's been great. It's been really good.
Thank you. And Chef Adana, what would you like to leave everybody with?
Well, same, Pam. Thanks so much for having me. And I think this was, nothing happens by coincidence. I think you had like an excellent lineup plan for your viewers and for your clients today. My thing would be, for anyone, and even hearing your stories, not to get back into it, but hearing your stories and saying you just started at, whatever the age that you were at. I was 32 or 33 and thought my life was over, right? When I started having those problems and couldn't continue my life as a personal chef as I knew it. So just to hear you ladies say, you were older than 32, 33, and you did it, just start. That's just the biggest thing. Just start. You'll find the resources. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look pretty. It's not going to be, packaged up in a nice box with a pretty bow. You're not going to know what you're doing at first. You're going to fail. Be fast to fail. Pick yourself up, start over, and look for the resources you need.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Those were powerful. Well, you guys, I want you all to know this was amazing. Another powerhouse show. I told you I was coming through, and oh my goodness, they came through as I knew they were. But I wanted to let everybody know, I want to first and foremost thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit here and hear us talk about our what ifs and I can'ts, as well as how did we get to our what's next. And if no one has not told you today that you guys rock and you are amazing, and live your life the way you want to live it, not for anyone else. Because remember, we only get one life, right?
Yes.
So go out here and go conquer your life, and knowing that we are here for you. We are created a space for you. We're here to create a place for you to go after your what's next. Until next week. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. We'll see about, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It's too much. I will think of
boundaries and self-care.
That's right. That's right. But until next week, everyone, you guys have a great show. I definitely will pop in real quick to, make sure everyone has an amazing Thanksgiving. But until next week, you guys take care of yourself. Go out here and empower and inspire yourself to go after your what's next. I want to thank you guys and take care. Until next week, you guys.
Yes.
You rock. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye,
thank you.
everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.